That time of year.
I've avoided it all this time. Hey, Facebook, happy Monday. It's the Pam and Mike show. We got rid of Ricky. We can't all three be in the same place at the same time, except like once every 2 months.
The past, the past 12 months have been that way. Like, like we cause some kind of rip in the time-space continuum if we're both in the same, if we're all three here.
I mean, Ricky had to hang out with Jody Benson.
Yeah.
I was like, Jody Benson or Ramen and Forrester, where are you going to go? She's on the plane. So
I don't blame her though. She's always like that. So
she got her VHS copy of.
I love that. That was so cool. That was really, really cool.
Oh, James. All right, we're getting cracking. We're going early. We're doing questions. Is this romantic?
We're all business.
We are on really early. This is the show for the folks that work at home. We don't have to wait for Ricky. I don't have to watch her on Find My Friends. Like, okay, get to Sugar Hill. Get to Sugar Hill. Avoid the traffic. Get out of Duluth or wherever you are. Get to Sugar Hill. All right. So questions, and then is this romantic? And please pardon my voice. I'm fighting the cold. All right. 1602. Welcome to episode 1602 of the Be Our Guest. Hang on one second.
1602. That is crazy. Okay.
Here we go. Let's have a sore throat. Try to get through this. Welcome to episode 1602 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Thanks for tuning in and joining us for more of your listener questions. We don't know exactly where this show will go today, but we're going to have fun talking about the Disney destinations. So joining me today for this awesome show, we have Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, just down in Walt Disney World. How's it going?
Hi, everyone. It's going great. Got to see the sun for a little bit, so that was pretty nice. Got to do the Arts Festival, which is really one of my favorite festivals. I mean, let's admit it. We like them all, right? But the Arts Festival is sort of like a hidden gem. I mean, it's not quite as busy as some of the other ones. So loved doing that. Of course, rode Rise of the Resistance again.
I love that ride.
I know. Each time I ride it, I find something different to enjoy, to experience, to look for. Just really like it. We did Smuggler's Run again, too. And I will be heading back down in March because I'm going to go to the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Can you believe that's only like 3 weeks?
No, I can't. It is. And I'm so glad they released Fast Pass for that. That's interesting. I think that gives people different chance, and Fast Pass for Smuggler's Run too. So good stuff happening there at Hollywood Studios. And I will still say, I really feel like these things have helped expand Hollywood Studios. We took my parents through Galaxy's Edge for the first time. And they've been lifelong Star Wars fans as well. So they just felt like it was, they kept saying, oh my gosh, it's so big. And like, we're still going and there's all these things to see. And they did Smuggler's Run. They did not want to get up with us to do Rise of the Resistance. So they missed out on that one, but they did do Smuggler's Run and they really liked it. And it's just a really cool area. It just truly, truly is. So if you haven't made plans to go see that, do yourself a favor and go do it. Just go do it. Don't think about the crowds or getting up early or whatever. Just go and do it. So
while you were having fun last week, Ricky and I recorded and I threw down a bet to her, and I just want to see where you fall on who you think is going to win this bet.
Okay, let's hear.
The bet was, one of the listeners asked about Rise of the Resistance and Fast Pass, because Smuggler's Run's now Fast Pass, and so is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, I think the listener asked, by the end of November, would Rise of the Resistance be a Fast Pass attraction? I said no. Boarding group still. She said yes. We bet a dessert. Where do you think?
I think no too, and I will tell you why. First of all, we had a number of days when they were really moving through the boarding groups quickly, but then we've had some days since then where they aren't moving through as quickly or it stalls at different times. This is an attraction with a ton of moving parts, literally and figuratively, right? Mm-hmm. So I think they want to perfect that. I think that the boarding groups are actually working well. And for the most part, they're fair for people to go and do that. I mean, and when I say they're fair, I mean, everyone who does the thing, which is get there at opening, has the same chance of doing that. And that's really fair. So I think that we will not see this for a while because it's working well. And I think they're going to see how the tiers with Mickey's Runaway Railway and these other attractions, how that all sort of plays out. And so I hope they keep going with the boarding things because that allows me to get a fast pass for whatever's in group 1.
Yeah, 2 tier 1 attractions. I mean, if you consider as a tier 1.
Exactly. So anyways, I hope they don't. And so I hope you and I are right. Is she going to buy me a dessert too?
I don't throw the bet down. I mean, buy her one if it goes early, but I mean, whatever, it'll be fine. I say you and I get the baked Alaska at the boathouse if we win.
Yes, I agree.
Happy birthday that one year. All right, let's get the listener questions back to the inbox. We have a question here from Ashlyn. She's in Littleton, Colorado, 1,856 miles from the Magic. Greetings, Mike, Ricky, and Pam. It's Beauty and the Beast help. I'm planning a girls trip for early next year. One of the girls going is an absolute Beauty and the Beast fanatic, and it'll be her first time at a Disney park. I thought it might be fun to take her on a Beauty and the Beast tour across 3 parks and potentially resorts if they are on the monorail line. We'd, of course, be ending with dinner at Be Our Guest. Could you please list off the Beauty and the Beast related activities? I feel like I'm missing so many. On a separate topic, I need to thank the lizards for being so supportive. I'm still slow and my stamina is low, but I've lost 15 pounds since late December and I'm not giving up anytime soon. On that note, do you have any tips or info for participating in the virtual Run Disney races? Thanks for the podcast. It made me an expert on all things Disney World amongst my friends and family. Well, that's awesome. First of all, lizards, you guys give back way more than it's unbelievable. Like I've seen people getting tattoos. I met Stacy up at one of the cheerleading competitions, Stacy Nyman.
Yeah.
She puts out with a dopey lizard tattoo. I'm like, whoa. It's like I would do that if I wasn't scared to death of needles. And like my wife would probably kill me if I got a tattoo. She'd be like, okay, this has gone too far. I saw got a cool tattoo. Like it just stories. And we have an awesome podcast coming up next Monday about a dopey story from this year from a lizard. It's awesome. So next Monday, you got a great show coming. So well done, Ashlyn. The lizards will always be there for you. I like the idea of ending Be Our Guest. Obviously, that's a no-brainer for a Beauty and the Beast fanatic. But Pam, what else could you suggest for this trip?
So they still have the Beauty and the Beast show at Hollywood Studios. So you'll want to check that out. Maybe not on the same day. I don't know if you'll be doing this all on the same day or you have a couple days, but definitely check that out. You can meet Belle, of course, in Epcot. Go ahead and look at in your app, they list the character greetings now. So you'll want to take a look at that. You can also meet the Beast sometimes too. I'm not sure if he comes out all the time or not. So you'll have to look at the app for that as well. I'm not as up on my character meetings and greetings as I used to be when Hannah was younger. Yep. The other thing though, that you may want to try is there's a new lounge and I know you're going with kids, but it's okay. Disney World, lots of people bring their kids into the lounges, I will say.
Hannah grew up in lounges, correct?
I think she did. So anyways, over at the Grand Floridian, they have that beautiful new lounge with a Beauty and the Beast theme where Misner's used to be. So you might want to check that out. What am I missing? That's Beauty and the Beast. Oh, there's Belle's Story Time. Of course.
Enchanted. And you know what? This is one of those things that I forget about all the time. I think everybody forgets about it. And I mean, it's right next to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, probably one of the more popular attractions in the Magic Kingdom, in the most popular park. And it's easy to go past it. It's not an e-ticket attraction, but every time I do this, and I haven't done it in years because Mallory's getting older, I'm just blown away because it's multidimensional. It's a character meet and greet. It's a story. It's interactive. Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff going for it. I love that thing.
It is. And it is. There's something about that show, especially I don't want to give away the surprise, but when you sort of at the beginning there, when you sort of enter the whole story, it's enchanting and magical too. So I will say that's a cool thing. And you can meet Belle in a few different places. So like I said, make sure you check on the character reading. We're getting something here in the chat here. Crystal says you can meet Belle at the Princess Breakfast in Akershus, and that's right. Yep. You absolutely can, along with some other princesses as well. I mean, if you really want to shell out some money, you could absolutely do bibbity bobbity and get belled up, as they say. You can buy the dress, get the hair done, the nails done, and so much more. So.
And our chat room's on it. Crystal's saying, well, she's got the Akershus breakfast, but Diane says, don't forget about the Beauty and the Beast sing-along now.
Oh, that's right.
Alternates with Impressions de France. And then Alfred with Gaston's Tavern.
Yeah, that whole area actually back there by the restaurant is set to look like the village from Beauty and the Beast. There's like Maurice's popcorn stand and Gaston's Tavern, and then there's a little shop that really specializes in Beauty and the Beast merchandise, and they always have some cool things in there. So go check that out too.
And then you make her listen to the Be Our Guest podcast. Boom, done. Total Beauty and the Beast.
That's right.
Every show, all 1,600. Okay, Diane's got a question in the live chat. Hey, glad I caught you guys live. Question: traveling in September with a group of 9, 3 kids, 6 adults, multi-generational. Kids are 4, 6, and 10. Currently have Grand Destino Tower and second guessing myself if it won't be kid friendly. We've stayed at Art of Animation and Yacht Club last year. We definitely want to stick to a moderate level at least. Celebrating 3 birthdays on that trip, including my mom's 60th and my 40th. Your advice is greatly appreciated. Well, first of all, happy birthday to you and your mother. That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm staying at Grand Destino Tower for the first time in 2 weeks. I switched from Riverside to the Tower for Princess because I got to see this thing. I got to experience it all. So walk me through it, Pam. You've been there a few times. Is it kid friendly? I mean, because the resort I find is kid friendly.
It is. I agree. I think it is kid friendly. I think the things that you're seeing there that are going to be kid friendly is, first of all, the pool area. It has a great slide and it's a nice big pool area. And you know what? The pool's impressive to kids and adults, yes. Right? That pyramid there, it's just a really cool thing. There's a play area, hot tub, of course, which I swear every hot tub on Disney property has exponentially more children than adults.
Absolutely. It's like, and they're
24 hours a day.
And kids go under in those things, but don't do it.
I've actually said to children, "Oh, honey,
don't go under.
I'm sure your mommy doesn't want you going under the water in here." And then the mom's like, "Oh, I don't care." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Because then you got the bar right there too. It's a sweet bar at that point. Have another Bud Light and let's go.
Mom and Dad are like, "It's fine." I'm like, "Okay, you're gonna get one of those brain-eating amoebas, but whatever."
Yeah, so,
but anyways, yeah, that. The other thing is, it's just a cool resort. At night, it looks spectacular. During the day, it looks so good. We haven't really talked about this a lot, but not only have they updated the rooms in Coronado in the past few years, but the whole exterior was painted. And It's a different color scheme. It's no longer like the corals and the teals of, the Southwest of a bygone era. It's beautiful.
In Backstreet Boys era. That's what it totally was.
Absolutely. So it really is updated too. There's a lot of restaurant choices at Coronado Springs. And when you're staying at Grand Destino, first of all, everyone who goes to Coronado is going to check in at the towers. I almost think it's kind of a letdown if you're like, okay, I'm checking in for the Coronado. I get to go to Grand Destino. You walk in, it's all sort of grand. They're like, okay, you got to go down here. Go.
That doesn't bother me because I love Coronado as a whole. But I've never stayed in the tower yet. I'm excited to do this. I love the ranchos. I love the casitas.
No, I agree.
I love the cabana. I just love this resort as a whole.
They're each pretty. I agree. There's just, so in addition to the restaurant choices, because you have the Rick's Sports Bar, you have the sit down restaurant at Maya Grill, you have the 3 bridges there in the middle of the lake, you have Cafe Rick's, yep. You have the
El Mercado,
right?
Pepper Market.
Yes, exactly. So there's lots and lots of choices in that space too. I really think it's a resort that everyone could like. I do see the draw of the Yacht and Beach Club area just because You can walk to Epcot from there, and you can walk to Hollywood Studios, and you'll have access via the Skyliner that's going to be very close to your resort too. So that puts you within striking distance of art, of animation, of Pop Century, of Caribbean Beach, of Riviera too. So I absolutely see both sides of this, but I don't want you to worry that Grand Destino is not kid friendly, because I think it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have a good time. The pool's going to win everybody over, and the amenities for the adults, especially celebrating 60 years and 40 years. It's plush. It's a plush moderate. You're going to love it.
I agree.
All right, Craig's got a question in live chat. I've got a question for the show. We have not gone to Walt Disney World since November 2018. What is new since then? And is there anything special I need to know about, such as boarding groups?
Oh, yeah.
So,
what is new?
Yeah, so the boarding groups, I mean, you can go over to the Mouse for Less, and Ricky's put up blogs about that. It's not as complicated as it seems. I mean, if you want to do Rise, you get there about 30 minutes before park opening. You just have to be through the turnstiles by the time the park opens. When that happens, you go into the app, you click on there's a page that talks about Rise of Resistance, join a boarding group, and you're set. As long as you're in the park and your magic band's scanned, that's it. There's a lot of new stuff, though. I mean, we can't go over everything, but I mean, what's something you would say not to miss?
I mean, of course, don't miss Galaxy's Edge, period. You're going to absolutely want to do that. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to be open very soon. So that's going to be something else that you can see too. You probably haven't even seen the Toy Story Land, right? Actually, it's so funny that you asked this question, Craig, because I was just thinking I was going to ask Ricky to start doing like maybe once a quarter, like what's new, and list all the things that have been added in the previous quarter or something, because very often, even I go down there frequently, will say to myself, okay, I know that there was something new. I wanted to check it out, or I wanted to go eat it or drink it or see it or participate in it or at least photograph it. And I can't remember what it is. So anyways, we all have those questions, but yeah, Slinky, because when did Toy Story Land open?
Summer of 2018. We're at the media event.
Yeah. So Craig, maybe you saw it. Maybe you did see Toy Story Land then. But even so, it's still new. You got to ride Slinky Dog again. Hang on.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, there's a lot. I would also say do the Skyliner, even if you're not in one of those.
Yes.
It's a game changer. It's a ride, and it's fun, and it opens up. Actually, it goes into our next question. Amy says, heading to the world with the in-laws in September of 2020. It's their first time. If we can squeeze in one resort meal, think via Skyliner or gondola as a park break, what would you recommend? We don't want to break the bank or have the meat sweats, since we'll head back to the park after. So kind of killing two birds with one stone. They want to ride the Skyliner and have a meal. Lots of options. Caribbean Beach, Riviera. I mean, you could even go to Art of Animation and go to Landscape of Flavors, but I would go to probably the Riv, as we call it, or Caribbean Beach.
Yeah, I agree. And Caribbean Beach Shutters, we've actually had a couple good meals there. Look at the menus. It is food that sort of has like a tropical flair to it, right? So they have pulled pork and they have like jerk chicken and things like that. But they also have some great seafood options and whatnot. If you don't want a sit down meal, then you also have some great options in terms of food courts. When you're looking at Pop Century and Art of Animation, you've got the two best food courts there on Disney property right there. Mm-hmm. So you could absolutely try one of those. And the great thing about both of those are that they have some unique offerings. So try that. The Riviera also has a quick service location, which really has some great options. And it does have Topolino's, which is available for dinner, and it is a bit pricier, so if you'll want to check that out before you do that, but lots of good spots to choose from.
I like the counter service at the Riviera. It's got really nice flatbreads, and I'm telling you, I had the best burger I've had at Walt Disney World, that Riviera burger with those fries with the Parmesan toppings on.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful to explore the grounds. Like you said, there's outdoor chess, there's bocce. I don't know how to play it, but people are playing it. And it's so pretty because really there's the water, then you can see the Skyliner buckets going, great pictures. Did you notice about the Riviera? Scott and I were talking about this when we were down there for Marathon. It almost looks like, as you go along the water at the Riviera, kind of outside of where the sitting area is, it almost looks like it's stadium seating or something. Like they could do a performance down there.
I know they definitely had like a lawn created for something.
You kind of noticed that, like it seemed like maybe
Yeah.
like mini amphitheater or something.
I know. Yeah, I know. I was wondering, like, are they going to do the movies there or what's happening there? But that wasn't where they were doing the movies when we were there. I don't know, but it is.
Do an impromptu meet and greet there is what I'm saying. You won't get in trouble. Okay. Well, I mean, not like we haven't had 80 people in a treehouse back in the day.
No.
Still broadcasting, still talking about it. All right. Jason's got a great question. If you make one reservation to build a lightsaber at Savi's workshop, can a child come in with you and put it together? And can your spouse come in and stand in the back? So from what I've heard, that's right. And it's funny the way you worded this, because Mallory really wants to make a lightsaber. So I would say, if you make a lightsaber, can the parent come with the kid?
Exactly.
Can the kid come with the parent? I get it. That's exactly what it'll be with me too. But yeah, I think it's 2 people.
It is 2 people, and they are strict on it. They only allow 2, and you get 1 person and 1 guest who can come along with that person. So that's how it goes.
That's it. All right. Next question from Leanda. She says, hello, Mike, all the way from the UK. Just a quick question. Can you use your quick service and snack credits at after hours events? Thanks in advance, and a big thank you for providing us all with the podcast. How's that work? Can you use your dining credits at after hours events?
Yeah, not for the after hours event, like not for admission. I just wanted to make that clear because sometimes that is confusing to people. But if like one of the restaurants is open and it participates in the quick service dining, it has quick service dining credits or snack credits, you absolutely can use those then.
All right. Ray's got it's not a question, but I like the way he's using the podcast. I give him credit for this. He says, Mike and Pam, can you please wish my special Valentine, Kelly, a happy Valentine's Day? No, I'm just kidding. Happy Valentine's Day, Kelly.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And here's your request and dedication.
We need a Delilah moment.
Delilah. I'm old. So yeah, happy Valentine's Day. And don't forget, Friday is This Romantic coming your way. And we got a lot of them, so be ready. All right. Let's see. Celia in the live chat says, we're going to spend 5 days at the parks in March. On our first day, we scored an unexpected ADR at Cinderella's Royal Table. We already had a 7:15 dinner ADR at Crystal Palace, as Pooh is a family favorite. I know I'm a 12-year-old, but every time, like, if you take that out of context on any other podcast, it just isn't right. But I get it. I totally get it.
People get stuck in Pooh sometimes, Mike. It just happens.
Get a fast pass for Pooh. It's like, if you took this show out of context, it'd be just a mess. There we go. Anyway, question is, not too soon, is this way too much food or time spent in a sit-down restaurant in one day? Should we cancel one? We also have a 3-year-old. If we do keep the Crystal Palace, what is the best tactic for finding a spot to see the fireworks? At the very end, she threw in the 3-year-old, and that might be pushing it for a 3-year-old, because Cinderella's Royal Table is awesome. But man, both of those meals, I would say, the experience of it all is probably 90 minutes each. I guess you got to know your kid in that situation.
I know. That's what I was thinking. So, like, I hope that they're not both for dinner, right? I'm hoping like Crystal Palace is for breakfast. And
so maybe a breakfast and a dinner is what I'm guessing.
That's what I'm guessing. That I think you maybe could do because it's, there's a long gap between breakfast and dinner, and you'll be doing stuff and all of that. And especially if your child really likes Cinderella and the rest of the gang, if that's an important part of your vacation, like meeting those characters, then I would be tempted to keep that as well. But if Pooh is one of your favorites, then that's a great one to go to too. I think it's just, that's a fun one. It really is. And it's a buffet and a lot easier to attend with kids. Not that Cinderella's Royal Table isn't, because they make it as kid friendly as possible, I think, for a sit down meal there. So, and you'll be in very good company with lots of other kids.
Yes. I think everybody should do it once. I mean, eating in the castle is amazing. It is, but I mean, it's pricey, and it's tough to get the ADR, which you kind of walked into, it sounds like. So, no regrets.
Right.
I would at least hold on to it until 24 hours before, then make the call, just kind of read the kid. What do you think? And I say go for it, but if the 3-year-old's kind of getting overwhelmed, because just think about it. Walt Disney World's so overstimulating all the time. Sound, smells, lots of people everywhere. It could be too much.
I agree. And then she asked about the best tactic for finding a spot to see the fireworks. So I typically like to see the fireworks somewhere behind the partner statue, but not too far down Main Street when that's possible, because especially for happily ever after, there are a lot of things you're going to want to see projected on the castle. So think of that.
And don't look at me when Go the Distance comes on. That song gets me every time. Like, oh, dun, 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 dun.
It reminds me of the last fireworks show.
Oh, that's just like my jam from all the races. Like I hear that song in my head when I'm coming down the chute every time. I love it because I don't know, I just do. Alfred's got a question about Be Our Guest. He's not eating there for dinner since they switched to the prefix menu. Do you think it's worth it now? So I haven't eaten there since this happened. What about you? I
haven't either. I have not heard, though, bad things about this. It did switch to prefix, which means it's going to be a set price, but I haven't heard bad things about it since then. I think it's probably a little in the middle.
Yeah. Okay. Just give it a shot. All right. Bob says, thanks to the Magic for Less crew for a great vacation and nice laundry bag. Too bad I was the only one in the room to crash and never got a pick, but it was used and a great addition to the trip. I am not kidding. If you book a small-ish package with the Magic for Less, you get these travel laundry bags.
Yes.
And I know it sounds totally dumb. I forgot to pack mine for marathon weekend. I was a mess. I'm like, oh, because the thing is, like, I had sweaty clothes. Like, I needed this thing in the worst way because I've gotten trained to use these things. And I'm like, how do I forget my laundry bag? So I'm using that gross plastic bag that they have in the room, and it's just a mess because I have sweaty running clothes. And it was 100 degrees on Sunday. Yeah, those things are nice, and we like thanking our guests. It's very
they are, and we have a contest now that we mail out with them. There's a postcard that sort of describes it. If you hashtag TMFLT Magic and one of the bonus gifts that we gave, be it the laundry bag, we give Starbucks gift cards for certain things, so take a picture of Starbucks. We give the Disney gift card, so show us what you bought with your Disney gift card. All these kind of things. We have a contest once a quarter. We pick a winner, and then you get another Disney gift card. Can you beat that?
Boom, there you go. So everybody get on it, because I know we sent out a lot of, and my guests get a lot of those things. So be ready.
TMFLT Magic, my friends. Hashtag it.
So Sean's excited for his Toledo reservation in May. Excited for Sean. And Kathy says, do all the updated rooms have coffee makers? I stayed in an updated All-Star M, so it could be movies or music room last year, and it did. But I'm in French Quarter in April. I think
the moderates have always had coffee makers, or for a very, very long time. So you don't even need an updated room in a moderate to get a coffee maker. At the values, if you get an updated room, then you'll have a coffee maker as well. And they're the little Cuisinart, like pod styles. They are not Keurigs, but they have a little pod of coffee that you stick in there, and water goes over it and makes coffee. So
actually, it wasn't marathon weekend. When was the last time I was down before? Oh, I guess it was in September. I was at Coronado, and they had the coffee maker. And
you have Keurigs, yeah.
Or do they have Keurigs? I don't even know, but they had the little pod things. I don't even know how that works, but I don't like coffee, but they had like a tea. So I was just like, I'm gonna make a tea. I'll just drink 2 sips, and I've made something. It was kind of fun. That's how. And hello to Angie in Greenville, Illinois, which is where a big state prison is. So hopefully you're not listening from prison. Hopefully
so you tell the inmates we said hey.
That's it. Hey man, captive audience. That's it. Put us on live every Monday, and we'll speak. My buddy got kicked out of college at Greenville, so story not for the podcast, for later. Let's see. What are your favorite options for quick service or snack credit breakfast at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom? So I have found, here's the thing about the Magic Kingdom for breakfast. I need eggs. Like, I need protein in the morning. I know you're the same way. We kind of both start the day with an egg to get some protein going. Yes. It's kind of hard to find that, because a lot of times at Magic Kingdom, I'll go with my cinnamon roll and my Coke Zero back at Gaston's, but not protein. It burns off too fast. I have found a couple options. Sleepy Hollow has some kind of like the waffle that's got like ham and cheese and an egg in it. But also I found on my last trip, there's a cart back in Frontierland it's kind of across from Pecos Bills, and it's not that there's a popcorn cart there too, but it's more near Splash Mountain. That in the mornings it does have this breakfast, like it's not burrito, but it's kind of like a real thick tortilla with eggs and cheese and meat.
Really? Wow.
It was really good, but I've only seen it just that last time. And so I'm looking forward again in a couple weeks. Wow.
I didn't even know that was an option. Truly.
Yeah, I stumbled upon it. Yep.
They do need to have a few more breakfast options, I think. That's something that I don't know that they do enough of. With that, I mean, I think that the thought is that people will go ahead and eat something before they leave their resort. And I get that. I really, really do. But I think that they need people, for people that like it. And I see that Sean's mentioning the quick service breakfast at Magic Kingdom. Be our guest. And we have talked about this many times, but I will tell you, this is such a tremendous deal when you're using one of the dining plans. Literally, breakfast is $26 plus you get a drink that is like, like a champagne and orange juice mix or something like that. You can get a Bellini or something. And I think that's another $14 on top of that, or $12 or something. So you're part way through your quick service meals. Like, you're more than halfway paid for it, just attending that meal itself. So anyways, check that out. But yeah, that's a great one because they have a lot of choices at Be Our Guest. They have, Mike, a charcuterie plate.
There we go. Had to say it.
Mark it down
here. Yeah, there we go.
Have a charcuterie plate. They have eggs on toast. They have all different kinds of things from which to choose. So and it's good food too. It's pricey, but when you're on the quick service plan, it makes sense.
So as far as Animal Kingdom in the morning, I've never had breakfast there that I can think of.
I think that the places that are open, first of all, the quick service or the table service locations at Tusker House and also I think Rainforest Cafe are both open for breakfast. But as far as quick service breakfast locations, why do I want to say Pizza Safari maybe is open? I'm not sure. And the thing about the breakfast locations is they change all the time, depending on the park hours and whatnot. So look at it when you're there, look and see what's available. And one of the best ways to look and see what's available is that when you're on your app, your handy dandy Disney app, which I'm on right now, you can actually sort by dining and do it during the breakfast hours because you can see what's going to be open. So go ahead and look at your app at a time that you might be eating anyways, and boom, you'll be able to see the places that are open.
All right, we're going to run through quite a few here as quick as we can because we got a lot of them here stacked up in the live chat. Angie asks, is staying off property a huge disadvantage in regards to booking fast passes? So if you're staying off property, you can book it 30 days, where on property you can book it 60 days. Now, here's the thing I would say, this could be a whole show topic, so I don't want to go very long, but the biggest thing I experienced when I stayed last April at the B, which is a Disney Springs hotel, which gives some advantages. It's not the same experience. I think it's really rough if you have stayed on property when you don't have access to the Disney transportation system, things like Magical Express, the ability to use magic bands. I think it's a real struggle for somebody that has stayed on property, even if it's at a value resort. You get more things than you realize, and they become kind of a crutch. You're used to that being a part of the whole Walt Disney World experience. When you take those things away, I think it's more than the 30 or 60 day fast pass window. I think it's the things that you experience, boots on the ground during the trip. That's what I noticed. I still had a good time. We still had fun in the parks, but it wasn't as complete and as easy and as in the bubble as I'm used to.
Yeah. I mean, I am unequivocally a Disney on-site resort fan. I won't even apologize for it because I just have a better experience. And I think most of our guests do as well. That's just what it boils down to for me. Are there strategies that we can help you with if you do manage to stay at one of the off-site locations? Yeah, we can. And we do work with guests, especially there are times when the Disney resorts just aren't available. So we're going to help you make any trip work for you. But for my money, for my value, I think an on-site stay is the best way to go.
Agreed. All right. Rhonda's got a question. Real simple. Fast pass for Mickey's and Minnie's Runaway Railway or the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run?
I would lean towards probably Mickey and Mickey's Runaway Railway, and here's why I'll tell you that. First of all, you're going to have to look and see what the wait times look like when this ride is released. But the standby line for Millennium Falcon, I really enjoy. Get your park apps out. You can use the Play app in there. There's lots of things for you to scan and do. So think about that if you want to do that. But there's just lots of things to look at and see. There's all kinds of noises happening. And I think you'll enjoy it. Of course, we don't have any idea what Mickey and Mickey's Runaway Railway is going to be like. It could be really cool too. But I'm going to say go ahead and fast pass that one.
I'm going to guess too that Smuggler's Run is going to be more reliably running than Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, with it being new, and it's just it's more of a physical experience from what I've heard. So there's more, like you said with Rise, there's a lot of things that are in motion, a lot of parts that have to do their job. Where I could see a lot of downtime with Mickey and Minnie's, as opposed to Smuggler's Run. That thing, knock on wood, has been pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a great point.
All right, so let's see here. We got a question from Ryan in the live chat. We are doing the first week of March. We'll be there a week, and my brother is coming to spend 3 days with us. We have the space in our room, but he's not on our current reservation. What do we need to do to let him be able to enjoy extra magic hours with us? So basically, he just has to be on the reservation.
Yeah, so you'll be able to do one of two things. First of all, if there is room on your reservation and you don't have a package that includes tickets or dining, I would go ahead and just add him on right now. And you can do that. You can also do, when you get there, what is called a day guest pass. And sometimes guests have challenges with this. So first of all, you'll have to pay the extra adult price for him to be there, even as a day guest. And it depends on the level of resort that you're at, but there's a charge for that per night. It's not, a ton. And it's definitely worth it to experience the extra magic hours for sure. So just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, like I was having a hard time kind of comprehending it while I was reading and everything going on in the chat. If he's not going to be there for the length of the stay, just add him for those days. You have to do it at the resort, though. You can't do it ahead of time.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you will have all the components of your package for the length of your stay.
For sure.
Sean's got a good question, because this just came up in the last week or so. Would you pay the $50 fee for 20 minutes with a PhotoPass photographer? I heard it doesn't include any of the photos. You have to pay for those too. Now, if you have Memory Maker, those will be on your Memory Maker, right? I would imagine.
I think so too. Like that's the whole thing.
I think it is on your Memory Maker now, because in a way it's kind of backdoor forcing you to buy Memory Maker, but I think it's worth it, especially if you're an annual pass holder and you have Memory Maker included. And my guess lately, and I've been saying this, and it was kind of shocking a few years ago, $200 for your pictures. Like, that was a lot. Then it went down to $169 if you purchase it before the trip. Those are memories. Like when you see the Disney commercials, and that one still rips my heart out with the girl going away to college, and the dad says, "I won't even know you're gone." Like, oh, they should put a warning before that one comes on. That and the new Google commercial with the guy talking about his wife. Oh, stop.
I know, Loretta.
And they were back to back the other day. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? They were back.
Okay.
Stop. Like, you tried to kill me. Those two ripped my heart out.
Right.
But anyway, Memory Maker, you can't go back and get those memories. And the shots you get on the rides, the expressions on your kid's face when you take them on Rock and Roller Coaster for the first time and their eyes bug out. Like, you want that picture for when they go to prom with their date. You want that picture for the wedding. You can't get those things back. So Memory Maker is important. Would I pay the $50 for 20 minutes? It depends. No, probably not in my situation. But if it was like a 50th birthday or something, maybe. It depends on the situation.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It's just, to me, the Memory Maker is consistently the add-on to packages that we get the most positive feedback on, and it's less than $200. So for me, it's like, to me, I don't even think about it. We always have it. So that's something that you're going to want to think about. If there's a special event or something you want to remember, I don't think that $50 is, much to ask for. So I think it's good.
I just wonder, like, the logistics of the whole thing, because it is super interesting. I mean, this is totally up Ricky's forte, because she loves the senior pictures. She will totally do this. She will have props. She'll have outfits. It'll be funny. That's funny. All right, Clint's got a question. With the 50th coming up at Walt Disney World, what's the new thing you are looking forward to the most? I'm actually kind of looking forward to Ratatouille because I haven't been to France. I haven't done that. Now I got a little taste of the trackless thing with Rise, and I was impressed. But to me, honestly, and I know this isn't going to be done per se for the 50th, but just the new Epcot.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The new Epcot. First of all, if you haven't been to Walt Disney World, I would go to Disney World right now just to go to the Odyssey and see that presentation they do talking about what the new Epcot is going to be. And the reason why is that presentation in itself, first of all, reminds me of old Epcot, doesn't it? I mean, it's just cool. There's just a lot of things going on. It really draws you in. I love it. It really is. And also, one of the agent education programs that we had, they showed us sort of this mapping on a model. They showed that to us for what Disney Springs was going to look like and stuff like that. So that has sort of a warm place in my heart. I remember that well. That technology is awesome. But I am so looking forward to Epcot getting back to sort of what it was, even if it's new. It's a total new sort of concept in that space. Not totally new, but it's going to be new in that space. It's not going to be old Epcot. It's going to be new Epcot. And I am just happy to embrace it. The thing that I find challenging about Epcot now is it's not living up to its glory. It's not living up to what it can be. And I love the World Showcase. And I want to see the front just match that sort of excitement, and so that we can have that back. So,
and I just want to eat barbecue with my boy Sam Eagle. I mean,
it's going to be opening soon.
Can't wait. I love it. All right, last question today from Bob. If you have a 715 ADR at Crystal Palace, you can not view the fireworks from inside, but tell your server that you are going to the porch to view the fireworks. It's a great view. Remember to go back inside and have some great desserts. We did this 2 weeks ago, and P.S. the peach barbecue sauce is awesome.
Wow.
So not a question, it's a comment. Peach barbecue sauce. Interesting.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me. All right, well, let's do it. Well, you know what? Let's do one more question because I have this one queued up, so I don't want to lose it. It's Ohana or Kona Grill, and it's from Sherry in Dallas. Let's see. She says, I'm a few weeks out from spending a week at the Polynesian. I decided to book our dinner reservation our last night there to really enjoy the resort, water parade, and even see some fireworks. Would you recommend Ohana or Kona Grill? I hear great things about Ohana, but I do have that banana allergy like Mike. See, there's somebody else because everybody's like, you're crazy. No, okay, there we go. Sherry has it. Let's see. So I wouldn't be able to partake in the famous bread pudding. It looks like both are an excellent value on the dining plan, but if I can talk my husband and 10-year-old into getting the $40 New York strip, then I will really feel like I'm working those credits. I also don't see any dessert selections on the Kona Grill menu. Do you know firsthand what desserts they offer? Thank you so much. Sherry is in Dallas. As P.S., I currently have Kona and I'm using the touring plans reservation finder to look for Ohana and checking daily. Hopefully it will become available. So what do you pick out of the two, Kona or Ohana?
It's kind of a tough choice, and it really depends on what you're looking for from a meal. So no, for those who don't know, and I know that many of our guests do know, but Ohana is an all you care to enjoy meal that starts with this salad and
so good
pot stickers, right? And wings and all those kind of things. And then they start bringing meats that they've been grilling on the grill to your table too. And then of course it ends with the bread pudding. And I'm sure that they have an option for those who can't enjoy bananas. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure that they do have it. So Kona is more of a traditional sit-down meal. They have sushi. They have things that have more of an Asian flair. They have some great seafood choices and noodle bowls and things like that. If you look on the app, you'll actually be able to see the desserts. They have these little dessert glasses, and they have things like key lime, s'mores, tiramisu, banana trifle, coconut tapioca, cheesecake with no sugar added. So those are the options that they're showing right now. It just seems like little small desserts because these are only $5. So not a big deal, but there's some good choices on the Kona menu too. So check that out. To me, I have a hard time choosing this. It really depends on the kind of experience you're looking to have. So
Ohana's fun, and I mean, you can eat a ton of food. I mean, if you're looking for a quantity of food, you cannot beat Ohana on the dining plan. It's amazing. Like,
no, it's true.
Really,
and it's expensive too.
It's really expensive.
And you get to have a drink, remember, with your meal. So
and the kids will usually enjoy it because they can kind of get up. Sometimes they do coconut races and sometimes there's ukulele players strolling around. I mean, it's a fun place. I think everybody should experience that once. Kona's more of your typical restaurant. Now, Kona has probably gone through the most menu changes since we started the show than any restaurant I know. Because it used to be my favorite restaurant at Walt Disney World. It's not anymore because the menu changes, but it's still good. But they took away like the teriyaki steak, which I loved. They took away the noodle bowl. It's not there anymore. They had some crazy desserts back in the day, like cotton candy coming out of an ice cream cone. You know, it's changed a lot. Not that it's horrible, but it's not, to me, it's not my style as much anymore. So
no, I agree. You know, I like that they have the sushi there still, because there's not a lot of places that you can get that. But again, check out the menus. See what appeals to you more. I think you're both going to find them a great value on the dining plan.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. Don't forget, you can follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at Be Our Guest Pod and at Be Our Guest Mike. And over at Facebook at facebook.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Today's show brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Days to Go, WDW. Days to Go, let you count on the days until your next Walt Disney World vacation with style. Check them out. Turn your Apple device into a Disney device right now over at virtualmickey.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. You get all your Prime benefits, cost you nothing extra, and every purchase does help everything we do here on the show. So please bookmark it and use it often. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. All right, get ready to get into the zone because Friday we're coming right back at you with Is This Romantic? And it's just working out that Friday is Valentine's Day. Nothing better. So when you get off work, you're ready to go on that date Friday night with your significant other, put on the podcast, or maybe put it on the way to work to get you in the mood so that you're ready to go. And you have, if you're heading to Walt Disney World, you know, like, ooh, Pam and Mike said, that's not romantic. I got to stick away from pot stickers at Kona. You know, gives me bad breath. I don't know. We'll talk about it. So be here on Friday. We're going to have a great time with that. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. Ooh, I was losing my voice on that one. 16.
I cannot believe we've done 1,600 episodes.
It'll be 1,700 in a couple weeks because we have live shows and stuff.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, right now we're at, let's see. Right now we are at 1695. So it was 60. Yeah. So actually next week will be 1,700. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That is. Man. Okay.
I know. I'm coughing too. I muted my mic like 3 or 4 times throughout the.
Hazmat team called the Earth City Business. That's cool stuff. Okay, I'm trying to pull up the Is This Romantics without playing our live stream. Oh, Ricky took a picture of that stupid cake. I love it. Festival of the Seasons. Festival of the Arts.
Layered.
Yeah. In my belly soon.
You know why? Because it's almond and raspberry. I love anything almond.
I like either one of those things, to be honest.
You don't like either one, but you like the cake.
Oh my God, it's good.
You do like almond, you just don't know it.
Why is this? I'm clicking on see more and I'm not seeing it. Because Ricky posted so many pictures. There's her in a statue. There's her and some food. There's her and some clam chowder. Somebody painting. Of course, a selfie with some ears on. Come on, paint by number. Ricky, you're spoiling my groove. You're giving up all the stuff I want to see. So that new place at Disney Springs, that pour house, she was talking about that last week. It's like a brew house or something.
Yeah, so the NBA thing.
The city pour or something. I don't know. When she was talking about, I had no idea what she was talking about. And I thought she was talking Poor. I'm like, what's the name of that? It's called Pour House? I didn't get that it was like a microbrewery kind of thing. Oh my gosh, she posted so many pictures. There's Ricky on the monorail. I'm just trying to get to the post. There's her flying it. Okay, we're close. There's her selfie on the airplane. There we go. Okay, I just don't lose this. Okay. Let me pull one up here too. Okay. Bob is such a romantic. He's just playing with us with what he's doing. That's not right. Bob Danke. That is, of course, romantic. Okay. Man, I hate having this crud. All right, here we go. Happy Friday. And oh, that was not good. My voice is going. And the volume got cranked up somehow. 50. Okay, here we go. 50.
50 something. Not cent.
Nope.
50 minutes. I don't know.
58% on the line in properties. Here we go. Welcome to episode 1005. Nope. That's the ad read. Is it? How do I start the podcast? Now I'm all off my groove. Is that the ad? Welcome to episode.
Welcome to episode.
That's right. That's not the ad. I'm getting all not. Okay.
What? Where am I?
I'm trying to keep my finger on my phone so it doesn't lock out, so I don't have to go back 7,000 messages to get to the post. Here we go. This is a mess. 1603.
Are you there?
Not really. I'm just struggling to get through this one. We'll do it. Here we go. Welcome to episode 1603 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday and happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Will you be our Valentine?
Oh,
that's one of the things I really miss about teaching. I haven't done it for 3 years now, and I did sixth grade, which Valentine's Day was dangerous in a sixth grade class. You didn't want to encourage anything with sixth graders. They're already crazy, but it was, I made them do I was old school. I always made them do the shoebox thing, even though they were too cool for school. Like once I gave them that safe place that we're all going to do it, Mr. Rallman's making you. They loved making the shoebox, decorated for like the mailbox, and we'd all bring in the Peanuts cards or the whatever, the nerds boxes that are on the Valentine's. I love that. And it was fun. And I kind of do miss that. So hope you're having a great Valentine's Day already. We're doing our annual tradition of Is This Romantic? Giving some practical Walt Disney World advice with situations that may or may not be romantic. So we're going to do that today. So joining me today here on Valentine's Day, we have Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday, Pam. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day. So I will tell you, I've been thinking about for Valentine's Day, and I think I know what I want. Ready?
A trip.
A 2020 Adventures by Disney vacation, because there are some fantastic offers. I feel like crazy Eddie. Yes, absolutely. The river cruises for sure. There are offers that include flat rate round trip airfare. There are all kinds of different specials out there. There are actually some better deals on Adventures by Disney vacations, especially the river cruises, than I have seen in a while. So I want you guys to look at them. If you have always thought I can't do a river cruise, think about it, because this is a great year to do it. We don't usually see specials like this. And in addition, the Magic for Less Travel is giving our own savings on top of them. We're giving up to 5% we're going to take 5% off the price of that. So anyways, that's what I want for vacation. So Mike, can you text Steve and tell him that's what I want? Adventures by Disney.
Maybe you're on the Sonos. Maybe he can hear you since he plays music off the house, right?
Right? I know. We had such a good time on our river cruise. I'm telling you, I dream about that vacation more than any other vacation that we've taken. It was just awesome. So anyways.
All right. So with today's show, if any of these situations stand out, go to facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give your feedback on maybe how to make it more romantic if we deem it is not romantic.
Yes.
We're kind of old romantics here. We can find romance in just about anything. Our significant others put up with us. And So we'll see. So let's start off with Jen over on the Facebook page. It just so happens that our 8th wedding anniversary falls on our August trip. Our 6-year-old daughter will be with us, but we'd like to do something special. Halloween party. Is this romantic? What do you think?
I say yes. It is romantic. And here's why. First of all, anytime it's dark and there's twinkling lights and even neon and stuff like that, that's romantic. There's going to be fireworks. There's going to be a parade. There's going to be fun stuff to do. Plus you get to trick or treat and feel like you're, trick or treating age again. So I think that's romantic. I'm going to give that one yes. Thumbs up.
I do as well. And having the 6-year-old there brings a different level of romance, because I know you typically think of an adults only kind of evening or meal, for romance. But when you're at the Magic Kingdom, if you have kids and they're not with you, your heart's kind of only 80% there. And I think with your whole family unit together, that kind of brings it all home. That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Next, Jennifer Grant. Being stuck in the pouring rain in the back of World Showcase, and finally just taking your time walking back and getting soaking wet. And once you have blisters so bad from your high heels because you were dressed up for your anniversary, you took your shoes off and just splashed in the puddles. Is that romantic? Just kind of embracing the rain, taking off the shoes and jumping in the water puddles at Epcot.
I say yes. First of all, anytime something goes, and I'll put wrong in air quotes here because rain isn't necessarily wrong, right? But you go through, I think, a few stages in this. At first, you're like mildly annoyed, and then you're letting it impact you even more, right? Yeah. You're starting to get stressed, and you're like, oh, I had all these whatever. And I think as you get older, you pass through these stages more quickly. Then you get to the point where we're going to make a decision. We're going to roll with it and we're not going to complain anymore. We're just going to enjoy doing it. And I think anytime you can get to that point, you've won, right? You've won the game of life, as they say. Remember, you don't even have to spin that little thing in the middle and drive around in the cars. You've won the game of life because you're enjoying what's happening right then. It wasn't what you planned. It wasn't what you wanted, but it's still awesome. So that's definitely romantic and winning at life.
I agree, because when people around you see you embracing the rain and just splashing in the puddles like a kid and just laughing about it, and like, people are like, man, I wish I had that kind of spirit. Like, because when I see people doing that, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, that's how we all need to live. So that's totally romantic. And I will say we've been in many situations like that. One of the times I remember like our whole group being together was when you were staying, I think it was the Boardwalk Villas. We ended up recording a live podcast that night in the villa. And like, we had really good fast passes for something. I can't remember what it was, but we were really debating. It was pouring, but we were still like, we might go. I think we had Toy Story fast passes or something. I think, but like, we had just eaten at Ale and Compass, had a good meal, and we're like, Dad, what do we do? Do we get out there in the rain and go for it? But we called an audible. We went back to the villa. We ordered some food and some drinks, and man, we had like the best night. So I think you just gotta, call the audible in a situation like that and make the best of it.
I agree. That's what it's all about, is making the best of every situation you're in.
All right, Jen Stead, who does all of our great artwork. You see the cartoon people, which I keep telling Pam I want to get a fat head of our podcast mast with Ricky and myself for the kitchen, like that's huge. Awesome. She's still not going for it.
I'm sure Pam, that's what Pam wants.
She's like, you need to get like a saying on the wall in the kitchen. I'm like, how about a fat head of our podcast logo? It's not winning. Anyway, she says a nightly walk in World Showcase and walk to the boardwalk. Oh my gosh, this is like off the charts romantic. I love that.
Yeah, you're saying that because of Ample Hills.
Yes. God, I'm in love with Ample Hills.
I'm like, you hit all of Mike's romantic things.
Night.
Walk, check. Night, check. Ice cream, check.
Yeah, totally. And plus, the thing is, when you go to the boardwalk at night, because I think it's also about atmosphere, and you see a lot of couples and folks out for the night, and it's when you're a parent and you don't have that, you don't see that very much. Usually if you're going out, it's like cheerleading competitions. It's cool to see grown-ups in kind of nice clothes having a good fun evening.
I agree.
So there you go. All right, next, let's see here. Susie Campbell says Skyliner to Sebastian's Bistro for dinner. Maybe snag a hammock on the beach. Woo, yes. I like So talk to us about Sebastian's. I haven't eaten there. Is it kind of a romantic atmosphere, or is it kind of crazy?
No, it is. It's quiet. And I think I called it Shutters on our last podcast. So I apologize.
With us, I was thinking that, and I'm like, maybe it is. I didn't know.
I think I've lost my mind. Like
we're both
wave season, like in March. Talk to me in March. I'll try to be more cohesive and all that. Have my thoughts work out better, anyways. But yeah, so Sebastian's it is kind of quiet, and the times that we've been there, it hasn't been too busy, so that's nice too. There's also that Banana Cabana, which is of course a lounge, and not quite as romantic as a sit-down dinner probably, but they have some good drinks and they have some good food. And the great thing about that area of Caribbean beaches, you can catch sort of the high fireworks from Illuminations, so which is not Illuminations either. So
nope, it is Epcot forever.
Expect me to use the old terminology for the rest of whatever.
We are on cold medicine and we're doing the best we can. This is so romantic that we're on cold medicine and like hyped up and got rough voices.
Plus, we are here 12 hours a day at a minimum. So
we are here. All right, next. Well, actually, Kurt in the live chat has a question. It's not a situation, but I like this because it fits into what we're doing today. What is the most romantic place to have a drink with your wife in Disney or a resort for a date night? Let me just ask you this. You're down there, just you and Steve, and you can go anywhere on property to have a drink. Where would you find the most romantic?
So that's so hard for me because there's so many different places that we go. But there's something about Territory Lounge that is very near and dear to us for some reason. There at the Wilderness Lodge. It's usually kind of quiet in the evening. They have, decent beers, decent drinks, but they also have fondue. So that's
right on a Frozen.
It a little bit, right? And it just is a place that we've gone so many times that it feels like home. And I think that there is something about, romance and being tied to something that's comfortable that is sometimes a little reassuring. I mean, doing new things is always fun. And I think that is a layer of romance, but having romance sort of infiltrate your comfortable times is a good place to be in your life. So.
And I know this is totally like not the answer anybody's expecting, but the best times I've had, and I mean, it is romantic when you're there is, and again, this is a restaurant. This isn't even a lounge, but it's that patio at Olivia's with friends and with your significant other. When you're out there just hanging out in beautiful weather, especially like if you're down there, like say January, when it's cold at home and 75-degree evening, Florida breeze going through, you got all the flowers, the water. You see the people coming and going from the parks right outside your table.
Yeah.
Love that to have a drink, just to hang out. So
that was a good one.
Yep. Good stuff. All right. Next situation is from Stephanie. She says Riviera quick service. Okay. Eating out at the tables by the water and watching the Skyliner go by.
It's not even a question. Does anyone think that's not romantic?
We're just showing off.
If there are people out here who don't think that's romantic, you're wrong.
Hopefully we get something that's kind of maybe, because these are all, and look, Michael Jones, carriage ride at Port Orleans Riverside. I mean, you don't even have to take the carriage ride. Like, I feel romance is hearing the click clock and like taking pictures and watching it. But I mean, if you're the person in the carriage with your significant other, yeah, totally.
I agree.
All right. Amanda says planning a trip for the end of April, but my husband will be writing his finals during our trip online. Is this romantic? Okay, here we go. All right. So they're going to Walt Disney World in April.
Yes.
But hubby's writing his paper online. He's working. Is that romantic?
You're on vacation together.
True. What if he's in the room though, and she's like at the Magic Kingdom?
Well, that's not very romantic.
No.
But I think, just like our question about the rain and stuff, this is, you gotta do what you have to do, right? At least he's able to come on the vacation with you, and he's willing to do the final while he's there. Just, can he write a little before you leave home? I mean, is that possible? Like, can you get a little early?
Yeah, on the plane.
Yeah.
I always say I'm going to work on the plane. I never do because the Wi-Fi is sketchy. And No, that's, the thing is, you got to look at romance from the big picture. Like, he's working to better himself, probably to get a promotion or to get some other position, and that's going to benefit your family.
Yeah.
I mean, that is devotion. That is the highest level of romance. I give it to him.
I agree.
So hopefully your husband's listening and he can send me the check. All right, Eric's got a question or a situation: being stuck in a tunnel on the People Mover in your own train. And let's see, he says also, for one, you can actually plan sharing an ice cold beverage on the platform of the Main Street train station, overlooking the view right down the middle of Main Street, USA. The only thing is now, and this doesn't matter to me because a Coke Zero is a great beverage for me. But if you're at the Magic Kingdom, you can't share an alcoholic beverage outside. You can at a table service restaurant, but you can't, you're not having like what's the thing at France at Epcot, the Grey Goose?
Yeah, you're not having the slushy.
You're not having that on the Main Street train station, at least for very long, before Mickey comes to get you. But yeah, that's totally romantic.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, anytime you can see the castle at night, I think is a good day. So.
All right, here we go from Bubba Mac. I'm currently traveling for work and going to be 10 miles from Disneyland on today, February 14th, with the day off. Before I left, my wife put a small Yoda action figure in my suitcase with a note that read, "Love you, I do. If I take that Yoda to Disneyland and photograph him around the park, is that romantic enough to not get murdered for going to Disney on Valentine's Day without my wife?" What would Yoda say? Careful, you should be.
I agree, but I'm sure your wife's not going to begrudge you the opportunity to go and experience Disneyland by yourself. So I'd be willing to risk that one to see if it was enough to get me out of trouble, I think.
By putting a Jedi Master in your suitcase, like that is implied permission. Do you think? I mean,
yeah.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm thinking that is implied permission,
Sure.
Go for it.
For sure.
And like I loved my principal that when I first started teaching gifted, I was best friend. Her son and I were best friends growing up. So it was really nice. I had like the golden, everybody's like, "You're the golden child. You can do no wrong." I'm like, "Yeah, I grew up at her house and she's my boss now." But she always said, her motto was, and I learned this from her, always ask for forgiveness. Don't ask for permission.
That's right. See, look, it's Jedi Mickey.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Let's see. What about Jedi Grimace?
Oh my gosh.
Happy Meal. There you go. That's all I got.
I also have Rex too.
Oh man. Here we go. It's great for an audio podcast.
I know, but so many people do see us. So
that's true. All right. Next we have Jennifer. My husband and I'll be celebrating 10 years in October. Our daughter will be celebrating her 9th birthday 5 days later. We'll be in Walt Disney World during this time. Will it be romantic? No. But we're staying at the Boardwalk Villas, going full costume for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, having 2 non-character dining reservations based on our adult preferences, surrendering to our daughter's preferences on her birthday, and loving every moment as a family. Yes, that's totally romantic.
I agree. Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
And the thing is, I don't know. This is me. I find romance in having the family together. I know that there's something to be said for adult trips.
Right.
I've never taken one with just Pam. I've gone many times by myself for races and media stuff and that kind of stuff. Never gone as Pam and I, but there's a part of me that's missing when my whole family's not there. I mean, how do you fall in that? Because you and Steve do go down. I mean, because Hannah's older now, so it's a little different situation for you.
We do, but we always did. Like we went to Walt Disney World about a year after she was born without her. And she stayed with my parents when we were there. And we've actually made it a priority ever since she was little to go do stuff by herself. So, but I completely understand what you said. Like when Hannah is, when she was away at college, I can't tell you how relieved I was when she came home. Like there's something about having everyone under one roof. And like, I know where everyone is and all of that. So it's like, I want to do that with everyone I care about. Like people that I'm friends with, you're lucky I haven't made you move into my house yet. So I'm just saying, I would like everyone I care about to be under my roof and then I would be happy with it. But I totally understand what you're saying. But there is something to do. I mean, I've said this before on the podcast, but the best thing that you can give your children is two parents who love each other. So, and I'm not saying that trips are the thing that make you love each other more or less, but it's an opportunity to connect in a way that sometimes is not possible in the craziness of home life. So
you really start realizing that when you have a kid who goes away to college. Like it's, like I'm so excited because right now as we're recording, Paige is down at LSU, for the basketball game. She works for Mizzou women's basketball, and that's awesome. Like she sent me pictures today of Mike the Tiger. Like they have a live tiger in the campus, and that's awesome. And like she's living my best life is working for Mizzou athletics, which is so cool. But I miss her. Like she doesn't have the opportunity to come home because she's always working.
Right.
SEC sports are crazy. Like she never gets a day off. But when she comes home, you treasure it more. So I would say having the kids with you anytime at Walt Disney World's a win. It's romantic.
Yeah, I agree.
In a different way. All right. Ashland's got one. You're on your honeymoon having a rest on a bench down Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood Studios. Suddenly, they start playing the music from the montage at the beginning of Up.
Oh.
Your new husband asks you to dance, and you finally share your first dance as a married couple right in the middle of Sunset Boulevard. She says, true story. How about that?
That's very romantic. Steve and I do that when almost every time when we walk into the Magic Kingdom, the instrumental version of Up, the song from Up, plays. It doesn't happen every time, but it happens a really high percentage of time. And I love that movie. It just, for so many reasons, just that. So I think anything to do with that song is awesome. And how you got through it without crying. I mean, that's always the thing that gets to me. So anyways.
And then they played the Walt Disney World commercial with the girl going away to college, followed by the Google commercial.
Right.
Tear your heart out. Back to back.
And then you're all crying.
Come on, boy. At the end, when he goes out, don't miss me too much and get out of the house. Oh, stop.
I know, right?
I don't know. Pam's always like, whenever I tell Pam, like, you got to see this commercial, she's like, it's sad, isn't it? I'm like, yes, it's always sad when I tell you to watch a commercial.
It is. It's true. I know the part in Up where he flips over the page and reads, now go have your own adventure. I'm just like, that wrecks me every time. So anyways.
I know. Seriously. Oh, I can't think about it. All right, Jake's got a situation. We enjoyed the dessert fireworks party from the Tomorrowland Terrace one trip. You eat all the desserts you can imagine, then go over to the reserved area for the fireworks show. The day we did it was fairly cold, so she wanted to just snuggle the whole time. I definitely wasn't complaining.
I love it.
We turn on that Disney air conditioning here.
Right?
We have climate control.
Yeah. Love it.
You guys are killing it. You guys, like, there's not even a question. In the past, like, you guys were bad, but I mean, after almost 12 years, you guys have gotten good. All right. Let's see. Gene says, we went to Disney last March with our kids as part of a land sea trip to celebrate our 15th wedding anniversary. Our children insisted getting a picture of us kissing at every country in Epcot, kissing on command with people watching you. Okay. I'd get a little stage fright, but yeah, that's romantic, I guess.
Yes. A kiss is a kiss. I mean,
Did they like ding, 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 the way they do it, wedding or something, like the cup, the glass? And Jen, one of our other listeners, replied, that's my nightmare.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I'm a little stressed. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's so romantic. All right. Tyler says, convincing a cast member to let you sneak behind the velvet ropes of a private party in the Italy pavilion to snag a picture of where you got engaged. How about that? That's awesome.
That's romantic. A little sweet talking too. I'm sure it took to do that. So,
but that's where I love that cast members use good judgment. You know what? Because technically it's a private party. You're not supposed to get behind the ropes. But if you're kind and don't have an expectation going in and you explain, like, this would mean a lot to us. We'll be in and out in 2 minutes. Just want to snap a picture. We got engaged here. That's really those things you come home and you say, man, we got to do this. It wasn't a big deal, but it is a big deal in a way. It's not something that cost Disney anything, but you got to relive the magic there for a couple minutes. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I love hearing that stuff. All right. Eric says, how's this? When you start off with how's this, I always get nervous. My wife and I booked a room at the Grand Floridian for our 25th anniversary. Also went there for our 20th. But big surprise for us that we were upgraded to the Roy Disney suite for our stay. I pre-ordered an anniversary flower package through their flower shop, which just added to the occasion. Needless to say, we hardly left the suite. Upgrade of a lifetime will probably never happen again, but it will never be forgotten either. One of our most romantic getaways ever. How about if you ever had anything like that happen kind of unexpectedly that changed the what you go in with a plan for your trip and then something like this happens, maybe you had great fast passes and all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm never going to be in this suite again. Right. I have to change things. Has that ever happened to you?
I'm sure it has at different times. Like we have stayed in some places that I thought, golly, I don't even want to leave this room. It's awesome. But I mean, I think that's the beauty of it, that when you have something unexpected and you can take advantage of it, like really take advantage of it, then that's awesome. And I love that you had that opportunity. Oh, and Monique's going to college in the fall.
Dude, I'm telling you, George, that'll be the worst. It's exciting. George just said Monique's going away to college in the fall. She's committed to her university for fall 2020. His wife's already crying.
Oh,
and we've got to spend time with George and his family. And I will just tell you, as a dad, that day dropping Paige off, and I mean, Paige she's literally 120 miles straight down the interstate from where we live now. It's a straight shot. And I mean, she was going to Mizzou. Like, I didn't get to go to Mizzou, but you guys know, like, I painted my last house Mizzou gold. Everything I wear is black and gold. Like, I'm Mizzou true and true. But the thing is, God, that day we dropped her off. Oh, I don't know, Pam, just real quick. Like, Pam and I cried the whole way home, like 120 miles. Like, she wasn't that far away, but it was just like, that was like, and I think about it with Mallory already. She's in 6th grade. Like, I'm proud of her now. It all worked out. It's good. But God, that day, it's harder than you think. And then Core says that college commercial equals my 4th trip in 18 months because they're only little for a little while. I'm like, dude, punch me in the gut again.
I know.
Disney knows. But yeah, give him a little advice. He'll make it, but that'll be a rough day.
It will be. I mean, it'll be a challenge. It's a process. For a little bit, Steve and I you just are sort of unsure on what to do with yourself. And then we sort of hit our stride with it, right? And we're like, oh yeah, wait, okay, this is kind of awesome. I mean, it's really cool. But I will say, we still take advantage of any opportunity we have to travel with Hannah. She's going with us when we do, our agency is doing an Alaska cruise in May and Hannah's coming with us. I mean, it's still, the travel, I never feel bad about money I spend on travel for my family. Mm-hmm. After Christmas, I've had Christmases where I'm like, okay, why did I buy her that crap? Right? Because you're only an hour removed from it and you're already thinking, why did I spend money on half of that stuff? Right? Either they're not going to play with it long term, or you wish they weren't playing with it, or whatever. But travel is not anything I've ever regretted spending money on. One way or another, it taught us something, or it gave us an experience, or whatever. So I'm so about experiences as gifts.
Totally am. Yeah, like that one year we got her like one of those eggs that hatched, and like some stupid thing came out of it. Like, I remember on Christmas Eve, like we were all watching. It was like $60.
I know.
Like, the stupid thing hatched, and then she had like a little doll or something in it, and then she didn't care. Like, it was all about the stupid thing hatching for $60.
It's about the getting of it, and then I wonder, what am I teaching this child, right?
I always say, that's why I tell Pam, experiences. Like, if you want to get me something, like, let me run a race, let me go to a festival, let me do something,
let me do a river cruise.
Yeah, there you go. We just got a house, dude. That is not happening. I'll take a race entry for any time in the future. All right, see, Tiernan says sharing a Mickey pretzel and beer at night on a bench outside of the Land Pavilion because you just finished rider swap for Soren while the baby sleeps in the stroller. My favorite Disney memory. You know what? That is exactly right. That is exactly right, because you're at your favorite place. The baby's calm. 20 minutes before that, the baby could have been going crazy. The diaper could have been full. I mean, it could have been just 9 times of a mess. Mm-hmm. But like, when you get that moment, like, you have a drink, you have a snack, you're in your favorite place, the baby's calm. Life's perfect in that moment in time. Now, 10 minutes later, it's probably chaos again. But in that moment in time, that is the most beautiful romance you can find.
I agree. I agree. It's just, you finally feel like at different times in your life, you're like, okay, I have a handle on this. Like, I kind of know what I'm doing. Even if it's only for 35 seconds, you know what you're doing during that time. So yeah.
That's totally it. Like, I know what I'm doing. And it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Especially because Walt Disney World, you're out of your comfort zone. It's crazy.
Yes.
All right. Francesca has one. 10-year anniversary is coming up. If we stay at Port Orleans French Quarter, very romantic. We plan to explore Batu, where we can have a couple of drinks and make a droid together. Is that romantic? Well, I mean, okay, think about this. This is how my brain works. This is where I went. So I don't think we need earmuffs, but I think we're good. I mean, think about like the ultimate romance. You know, I mean, a lot of times you start a family, right? I mean, that's kind of how these things work for a lot of folks. And I mean, it's a robotic family that you're adding to your family with a droid. Is that not romantic? And have a couple of drinks, go over to Oga's.
Yeah.
Have a carbon freeze, or what I mean, pay way too much for a crazy looking drink and rock out with DJ Rex like it was at your wedding reception.
Right.
Who wouldn't want to have DJ Rex as your DJ at the wedding reception? I mean, come on, he'd be up there going, boo, boo, boo. Yeah, that's what Batu is. It's undersold as a romantic destination.
For sure. I mean, how many people get to go off the planet for some romance? It's not that many. So
I'm not going to put Core's comment on the screen because he's kind of thinking the same thing I was thinking, but we're going this funny. I appreciate it. It's hilarious, but let's skip it. Okay, so Robert Danke's Bob, our good friend from up in the Northeast, has got the most beautiful family.
Yes.
Been with the podcast forever. Back Monorail Bob on the old message boards. God, I miss those things. He says, is this romantic? I'm writing this just 2 hours after leaving California Grill Brunch, which was fantastic. Here's how we're spending Valentine's Day. Ginger and I are hitting extra magic hours morning at the Magic Kingdom and having an early light lunch at Be Our Guest. We'll be leaving the Magic Kingdom by noon to chill at the pool at Animal Kingdom Lodge. We'll keep things slow and get prettied up before heading to Jiko for our Valentine's Day dinner. Oh, you're killing us, Bob. Bob makes the rest of us look bad. That's all I got to say. Like, that's just not right.
He knows how to do it right. I'll just say.
That is just, he knows how to do it right. In our last situation from Alexa, she says, evening Savi's workshop and Oga's Cantina reservations for my Star Wars loving husband. Alexa's out in California. We just talked about it. I mean, yes, Batu is romantic. You make the droid, you make a lightsaber. I mean, some kind of galactic weaponry is always, kind of romantic because you can save the other one if you're ever confronted by a stormtrooper or, Kylo Ren comes popping out. You never know, especially out in California. And then, Oga's, go have a drink, rock out with DJ Rex. Totally. And when you're thinking about your significant other, if they're a Star Wars fan, perfect. Like, like if you're, like I said, Wednesday, we had the question about Beauty and the Beast, going and doing that. I really think, and this is what my wife honestly is great at. She knows what I like, and she'll be creative in creating experiences around, whether it's Cardinal baseball or Disney or, running or whatever. She's really good about that. I think that really makes the other person appreciate that you're thinking about that, because I'm terrible at gifts and things like that. I'm so bad, but like, she's so great at this kind of stuff. I think that's awesome because you're thinking about what your husband loves.
Yeah, I agree. That's what it's about. Romance doesn't have to be a big splurge or a big show of something. I mean, I'd love that ABD trip. I don't think my husband's getting that for me for Valentine's Day, but he'll do something just as thoughtful. But it's about doing something that focuses on the other person and the things that they enjoy. And, our listeners have it down pat. I'm just going to say there are about 100 great ideas there. So if you didn't find some romance in there, you're not trying.
Well, that's why we do this show. I mean, it's kind of a fun thing, but it's just to throw some things out there that if you're looking for an anniversary, a honeymoon, things that you could consider, all these things that were offered up have romance in their own way. And then Bob has it in every single way. I mean, you can't beat that. But let me ask you this as we kind of wrap up this show, Pam. So, like, if you're looking for romantic things to do where you didn't have to pay $1 extra on your Walt Disney World vacation, like something I think of is just, we talk about dessert parties, which are really great splurges. And I've enjoyed the dessert parties I've gone to, but I mean, there's romance in just going and buying a Mickey bar off a cart, at Epcot and watching Epcot Forever back in Japan. I mean, and on top of that, not rushing out of the park after the fireworks, letting the crowds kind of get going and just kind of like making your way slowly out of a theme park at park closing. There's a magic to that. Like you said, the twinkling lights, the crowds reducing as the time goes on, and just, getting to share that moment with significant other. I really think that there's a lot of stuff you can do without spending a dime extra and just, talking about it 10 years later about that romantic night you had at Epcot.
I agree. I mean, I love watching the fireworks from afar, be it one of the resorts or even sometimes outside of the parks because you're not in the hustle and bustle of things. And it still feels really romantic because you're there together and you can do that. I like walking through just about every Disney resort at night, right? It's just so, you get to hold hands, you get to walk through the resort and just experience it. One of the things that makes a Disney resort so special is this is a themed environment. So it helps facilitate all the feels, right? I mean, it just really does. That's what it was designed to do, and you're creating memories there. I love seeing other people enjoying their vacation. That's a cool thing. The people watching at Disney is like next level people watching.
Totally.
And that can actually make you go through a few emotions too. But Disney does a good job of having little nooks and crannies, little places to sit and observe in the parks, in the resorts, whatnot. So take some time, put down your phone. You got to put down your phone.
Yes.
You got to put it down for a little bit and just enjoy being there with each other. I think that's always romantic.
So real quick, rapid fire. February 2020, right now, most romantic Walt Disney World resort. Give one.
Most romantic. For me, the Polynesian's got to be up there as one of the romantic ones. There's just something about those gaslit tiki torches. It has the beach. It has sand. It has, places you can hear the Polynesian music in the background. There's something really romantic about that.
You're right. I'm going to go with Port Orleans, both resorts combined, French Quarter, Riverside, especially at night.
Yeah.
It's like a postcard during the day, but it is at night as well, especially with the horse carriage going around. The sounds help.
That water tower is so photographable with different Riverside.
All right, right now, most romantic restaurant. If you had to pick one restaurant to have a romantic meal, I know you're probably going to pick California Grill, but is there anything else, or does that not win? Like, just right off the top of your head today.
So, actually, one of the most romantic meals that Steve and I have had in the not too distant past has actually been the lounge at Ale and Compass. And the reason why is we were there. There was probably only 2 other people in the whole area. And we just sat there and like really, really talked to each other and lingered over drinks and some appetizers. And I just, every time I think about doing something like that, I go back to that moment and I'm just like, ooh, that was a fun night. Like we really had a good time. So,
okay, last question. Then we're getting out of here for Friday, letting everybody celebrate their Valentine's, and you get to do it all weekend because it's a Friday. That means it's a whole weekend, Valentine's Day. That's right. Good luck going out to eat tonight, though. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. I hate when it happens on a weekend. So overall, the most romantic theme park. Your goals to have romance. Do you go to the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, the Studios, or Animal Kingdom?
Epcot. I go to Epcot. Yeah, and they'll do the World Showcase.
See, I say Magic Kingdom because it's the definition of romance with castles and fantasy but at night, right? We're talking at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, World Showcase and all the drinks and the snacks and the fireworks and
you would just walk through it all. Like it's a new, different little genre every, 50 feet or 100 feet or whatever it is, so.
And it's adult, it is. I mean, the kids can enjoy it too, but that's good. All right. Well, it is time for you to go out and celebrate Valentine's Day. Hopefully we've given you some ideas for romance on your next Walt Disney World trip. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks everybody for the great situations, for being a part of the show. We sure appreciate that. Don't forget, today's show has been brought to you by our friends over at the Magic for Less Travel. So when you are ready to impress that person in your life with a very romantic trip, or if you're just being practical, you want to go build a lightsaber and ride the Millennium Falcon, we can do that too. Just drop by themagicforless.com. They got great specials right there on the front page. It's a great starting point. When you're thinking about going to a Disney destination, whether it's take a Disney cruise, going out to Aulani, what have you, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Adventures by Disney, start there because you can get a great base of what's offered when. It's a great trip planning tool to get things started, to look at the resorts. There's great resort guides on the website there. If you're going to Walt Disney World, there's tons of information on the Disney dining plan. It really does. It gets you in a great situation to think about, okay, well, this is kind of what we're thinking. Then while you're there, fill out the free no obligation quote form. let them know you heard about them here on the show. And then we kind of funnel things down. We look at prices and availability. Then we look at, well, is this going to work for you? We can find a special on these dates, but not those dates yet. And then we work it out so we get it just right. You get the package you're looking for, the room you're looking for, whatever, the cruise you're looking for, the stateroom, whatever it is, the adventure you're looking for at the best price possible. And it's a great experience. We love doing this. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. You get all your Prime benefits, cost you nothing extra, and every purchase does help support the show. So again, please bookmark it and use it often, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestmike and at beourguestpod. And of course, facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. All right. My voice barely made it to the end of the show. We're going to make it. So we hope that you have a great weekend. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you an awesome weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy the one you love. It's a special thing in your life. So make sure you get out there and have a good time with those you love. And we'll see you on Monday. So until then, we'll see you real soon. Oh, dude, I'm dying.
You did it.
Oh, that was rough. All right. Well, cool. We're done.
Awesome.
And I think next week we'll all be back, maybe.
No, I won't be here today.
And then I won't be here the next week.
Right. I'll be back on Tuesday, I think. Tuesday.
All right. We'll figure it out to do, because I think I only have to do one show while I'm gone, because I'll do one of those Friday shows where I record live while I'm there.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this early.
Appreciate it. Awesome. See you later. Bye. Yeah.
Right.
Tell your family hey too.
All right. See you later. Bye. See you, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. And thanks for putting up for my voice. I know it's terrible. Thank you, guys. I'll see you later. Taco Bell.